Hi everyone, revealing the narc here. I thought it would be fun to go through my Twitter feed and look at a couple of the videos I've made so far about Invictus. Yeah, we're going to see some bizarre behavior. I'm going to talk through them and I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on these videos. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. All right, everyone. So Invictus 2025 officially began on Saturday, February 8th. That was the day of the opening ceremony. But before it began, there was a speech that Meghan gave introducing her husband. So let's take a look at what Megan said at one point. She says that she wasn't expecting to be the one talking. And I responded to that tweet and said, I wasn't going to speak, but let me make this about me. Megan hijacked another moment with a masterclass in performative narcissism, false humility, emotional manipulation, and a desperate need to stay center stage. Then I said, watch her turn Harry's event into her own personal TED talk. When I say Harry's event, I mean between Harry and Meghan, this is Harry's project. This is Harry's doing. Not that he's the founder, but that between the two of them, he has more ownership of Invictus than she does. So, yeah, the ego on this one. The next thing I did last week on February 8th, actually, I made a YouTube video talking about this speech. And one of the things I focused on was her saying that I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to introduce someone. It's just so strange. She took that entire speech and she made it about herself. So, what's at odds here is that first she says, I wasn't expecting to speak. And then she says, I would be remiss if I didn't speak. Remiss, I had to look up just to make sure that I knew the exact definition, and it means neglectful. So, if she didn't speak, that would be neglectful. So, how can these two statements be true at the same time? If she felt it would be remiss if she didn't introduce him, then how did she not know that she would be speaking? So, anyways, we all know she was completely planning on speaking. So if this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and check out my YouTube video. All right. So then the next thing we see is Harry and Meghan walking in during the opening games, getting ready to take their seats. But what do we see? We see the claw. So I titled this post Breaking Harry Spotted at Invictus Under 24/7 Armed Security. Oh, wait, that's just Megan's claw. Some things never change. The next few clips are going to be of Megan and Harry during the opening ceremony. So, in this first one, you see that they kiss and Megan pushes him away. She holds his face completely and then she pushes him away. So, what does this body language mean? Covering his face is a classic example of dominance through physical touch. Holding and covering his face allows her to assert control of his emotions and responses. It's also a subtle way to let everybody else that's watching know that she claims ownership of him. It sends the message, I am in control of you, and everyone watching should know it. Also, if you look, it doesn't allow him to look at anybody else but her because she's holding his face. So this is even further isolation of him in such a public place. Now, what about the push on the back? This movement indicates directional control. This is a nonverbal way of telling someone where to go, as if they are a child or a subordinate. It reinforces her dominance in the relationship by making sure he moves exactly how and when she wants. We know that she does this to him all the time. In fact, I have another video coming up where she will direct him again. Actually, wait, more than one. There are going to be several that'll come up where she dominates him again. So I wanted to come up with some examples that maybe some of you may relate to, because a lot of times when we watch this behavior, we're on the outside looking in. And it's really important, I believe, to use Harry and Meghan as a tool to understand how things can happen in our own daily lives. So, an example of this could be a mother controlling a toddler. Do you ever see a mother cup her child's face while speaking to them, then gently push them in the direction she wants? In healthy dynamics, this is nurturing, but in adult relationships, it can signal an imbalance of power. It could be a coach or a boss subtly controlling a subordinate. Some managers will pat an employee on the back while steering them toward where they want them to go. This is establishing both dominance and control. So, how does this behavior relate to narcissism? It publicly reinforces the power dynamic that is in the relationship. She is leading him rather than they being equals. Many narcissists use touch as a weapon, sometimes affectionate and sometimes controlling, but it always serves a larger purpose, reinforcing their dominance. This is also conditioning Harry to expect physical direction from her rather than making his own choices about where to go and what to do. It really takes away his autonomy. And imagine if this is being done over years and years and years. So you can see he sometimes feels or looks really lost in the crowd when she's there, right? He needs guidance from her. He doesn't know where to go. But when she's not there, he seems to be quite confident, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's go to the next clip. Okay, in this clip, oh, this one really bothers me. Okay, in this clip, they're watching the concert, I believe. Megan has her phone out. She's taking video. Harry's having a great time. Well, I don't know how great of a time he's having because he has his finger interlaced, so he does seem a little bit uncomfortable. But Megan takes the camera, and as soon as the camera is in his face, he scowls. So a lot of people have said that maybe the camera was actually facing her, but but Harry doesn't know that in the moment, right? As far as Harry knows, Megan is filming him. The reason I find this so troubling is that press and media coverage and videography and photography is something that Harry likely, in my opinion, has a phobia or an intense dislike of. Megan is exploiting it. I think this is why his smile fades. She does this all the time whenever they're in the car together and she calls Backgrid. You can see Harry is terrified. Harry, I think, is under the impression that the paparazzi just showed up. He truly is scared. So this clip really bothered me. I think it's symbolic of how much Megan lacks empathy because she doesn't understand how important this fear is or how big this fear is for Harry. In this next clip, we see Megan tries to get closer to him. She's flirting with him, it looks like, shakes his head, and then mask slip. She can go from 0 to 60 real quick. Or actually, what is this? 60 to 0, I would say. I would say this is 60 to 0. This next clip was on Megan's own Instagram. And to me, this is such false empathy. She she can tell, I think, that the camera's there. It reminds me of the facial expressions she makes when she did that ITV interview, when she was trying to get empathy from the viewers, when she was at the LA fires. There's so many to name. If you can think of any, please drop them in the comments. But yeah, this false empathy is just too much. This clip was just a funny one because they are on their way towards an event. I'm not sure what it is. Actually, this might even be the opening ceremony because the jacket is the same, but I'm not sure what dress she was wearing under it. We didn't really see. So they're waving at what looks like the veterans. And my joke was, when you're the self appointed king and queen of Delulu. So they're waving by. Uncomfortable. Here's another example of Megan grabbing his face. There it is. And then telling him where to go. So this is exactly like the other clip we just saw. This clip happened on February 7th. The other happened on February 8th. So on camera, this behavior has been caught twice, as far as I know. It's reinforcing that control she has over his body. In this video, I found two things that I just didn't like. The first is the double claw. Yeah, she's really holding on to him for dear life. And then Harry does that movement with his arm. I just don't like it. I'm not sure what he's signaling to, who he's talking to, but I don't know. That is something I do when I'm calling over my pet. So I don't know who he's talking to. And these are, of course, assumptions that I'm making, but I just don't like it. Another example of Harry being sidelined. This immediately reminds me of Harlem. I think it was Harlem when Harry was sitting with the children and Meghan was the one in charge reading a book to everybody. Meghan always being the center of attention and Harry just off to the sidelines. In fact, I have another Invictus clip that is absolutely related to this. Let's go to that one. So, this Invictus clip that I'm going to show you is from Invictus 2023. And you can see Meghan is in the middle, Harry's on the outskirts. Typical Meghan behavior. Okay, this one is a good one. So, you guys tell me if you see what I see. This is the anti PDA, I call it. So far, everything we've seen is Meghan really trying to show that they're lovey dovey and they're great. But in this video, what I see is Harry brings his arm over and he almost recoils from her. And you actually see that she moves her arm too. It's like they don't want to be touching each other. It's totally strange. Let me know if you observe this as well or if you feel that same way as well. This is another example of Meghan directing him. There, here you go, Harry. Go say hi. I'm in control of you. I don't know how you did this before I got here. Unbelievable. I called it in a world full of chaos. It's nice to know that some things never change. Meghan directing traffic. This one, this one's the one, guys. The way she looks at Harry and then she realizes she's caught. That mask slip, the contempt in her face. Oh my goodness. It's scary. This is a glimpse of what happens behind closed doors. And then the last thing I wanted to do was show you this other clip of Harry and Meghan. So here I'm comparing an event that happened in the last few days and one that happened in 2023. In the event that happened in the last few days, I believe we're seeing Meghan trying to love bomb Harry. And I'll get into the reasons I believe this in a minute. She's really trying to be affectionate, even though I do believe she did have a mask slip just there. Let's see if I can pause it at the right time. There, did you see that? Oh my gosh, that looks like a mask slip to me. One of the other stages in narcissistic relationships is the devalue stage. So this is where the narcissist is slowly, slowly, slowly chipping away at your self esteem. And this can be done with words, this can be done with body language. It's just anything that is meant to break a person down. This event was at the Lakers game in 2023 in April. And if I'm not mistaken, it was around that time that it was announced that Meghan would not be attending King Charles's coronation. So, in my opinion, Meghan is upset with Harry. And I think this is the reason why she behaves the way she does in this video. So she covers her lip so he can't kiss her. She moves back. She's absolutely devaluing him and she's doing it in such a public way. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to get into my theory about this. It's just a short one. So narcissists cycle through this idealization, devalue, discard stage. It happens all the time. In my marriage, my ex-husband ended the relationship with me 10 times. I didn't recognize it for what it was because when I was in the relationship, I didn't realize that I was married to a narcissist. And it makes sense why the cycle happens the way it does. Well, at least the first and the last step. Because when someone is discarded, it's going to take a lot more effort to get them to come back. Like you have to be sweet to them and nice to them. because that'll increase the likelihood that they'll come back to you. So, everything I'm going to say now is all allegedly. So, allegedly, Meghan's team, without Meghan's knowledge, allegedly, was trying to shop around a post divorce book for Meghan. There are a couple of different stories about this. One story is that the publishers actually approached Meghan's people, but either way, there is this conversation of this post divorce book. In my opinion, Harry had no idea about it. So I think Harry probably was shocked, surprised, horrified, even, and maybe already had one foot out the door. At this point, I don't think Meghan has the means to sustain the lifestyle she has. She needs Harry. She has a history of discarding people as soon as she doesn't need them. We know that she did that with her childhood friend, Nanaki Pretty. We know that she did that with one of her professional colleagues, Gina Nelthorpe Cowan, who became a very close friend to her. We've seen her do it to her family, justified or not. And in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before it happens to Harry. But it's not going to happen until she has a soft place to land. Meghan can't risk Harry leaving right now. So she is playing all of this lovey dovey stuff to keep him around. If Meghan's team was shopping around a post divorce book and Harry is just now hearing about it, I think this is a massive betrayal for him and a calculated move by her. Meghan is love bombing him to the max, and I think it's damage control. Meghan's pattern is that she's always planning the next move. If her people were shopping a post divorce book, that means she's already thinking about life after Harry, while publicly pretending everything is fine. Harry likely has no clue because if he did, he'd probably be spiraling. The timing suggests he found out when he did or even later. For narcissists, relationships are transactional. They don't leave until they have their next step lined up. This book deal could be Meghan's golden parachute before she fully detaches from Harry. Meghan needs to pull him back in before he reacts emotionally or worse, publicly. Narcissists love bomb when they fear they're losing control over their partner, when they need to keep up appearances, especially for PR, and when they want to manipulate emotions before making their next move. We've seen Meghan go cold toward Harry in public, but now suddenly she's over the top affectionate again. That's a red flag. So, what are some things that we've seen in Meghan that can show that there's love bombing happening? There's what we're seeing visually with the PDA, Meghan publicly clinging to him. There's the over the top praise that we're seeing in the speeches that she gave. And there's the excessive physical affection in public. I would imagine that she may be acting sweet in private as well. It's important to note that this isn't the beginning of a rekindled romance. This is a pre breakup manipulation tactic. Many narcissists love bomb before a discard, especially if they know something damaging, like the book deal, has been exposed. The goal of this sudden affection, to confuse Harry so he doesn't lash out, is to reestablish dominance over him and ensure that she's the one that leaves on her terms and not his. Like I was saying previously, I think Meghan always plans her exit strategy before leaving. She's suddenly hyper affectionate. I think it's because she needs him compliant while she's securing this book deal. She wants to control the narrative before she's ready to go, and she fears backlash if Harry reacts negatively. I think we can see similar things happened with her ex-husband, Trevor Engelson. She love bombed, emotionally distanced, and then discarded him when she was secure in her next move. This love bombing that's happening right now is temporary. It's not about Harry, it's about damage control and public image management. When she no longer needs him or finalizes her post divorce plan, she'll drop him cold. So I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Do you agree with the analysis of the videos? Do you agree with this assessment of what's happening right now with all this love bombing that we're seeing? Please go ahead and drop that in the comments. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when a new video drops. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone. If Valentine's Day with a narcissist feels more like an emotional obstacle course than a celebration of love, you're not alone. This day can be incredibly triggering for them, which means it often becomes painful for you. That's why I put together a guide called Surviving Valentine's Day with a Narcissist, Protecting Your Peace. Inside, I break down why this holiday brings out their worst, the tactics they use, and most importantly, how you can protect your energy. There are also some journaling prompts and recovery strategies to help you process everything afterwards. You can grab it now on my Patreon. I'll leave the link in the description. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.